Hi, I'm Jan Rasmussen, author of the national award-winning book Scared Poopless, The Straight Scoop on Dog Care. And these are my assistants, Chicklet and Jiggy. Please check out my credentials at my website before evaluating my advice. Okay, let's get ready for Truth for Dogs. Today we'll talk about standing up to your vet. Be honest, aren't you just a little intimidated by your vet? Do you follow veterinary advice even when your gut tells you something is wrong? Do you swallow questions for fear of sounding dumb or making your vet angry? Do you gag when you see your vet bill but never say a thing about it? Maybe you want to switch your dog to a homemade diet, or have qualms about repeated vaccinations, but fear a lecture from your vet. Standing up to authority can be scary. But scary or not, your dog needs an advocate, and that means you. Remember, no one knows your dog better than you do. If your vet doesn't listen to you, valuable diagnostic clues may be lost. If your vet doesn't address your concern, your poor dog may have to suffer the consequences. Vets, like medical doctors, aren't infallible, you know. Needless to say, some doctors are better than others, and so are some vets. To have a fighting chance at keeping your dog healthy, your vet needs your input, and you need to express your concerns and question recommendations. But how do you get the words out? Public speakers, to overcome nerves, are often urged to picture their audience naked. Well, that might work. Or maybe you should just remember that 50% of all vets graduated in the bottom half of their class. 1 out of 4 in the bottom quarter. Some vets treating dogs have never even had a dog. Most conventional vets get most of their nutrition training from pet food company reps and their pharmaceutical training from drug company reps, unless they're voracious medical journal readers and avid web surfers, and unless they've experimented on their own pets' diets and also take expensive, time-consuming educational courses. They probably have no real expertise with homemade diets or natural supplements and remedies. So, if you've done your homework, if you read a lot, and you've joined an online vaccination awareness or canine feeding group, you may be the real food and vaccination expert. And remember, vets, unlike medical doctors, make money selling foods and treats and administering drugs. That gives them a potential conflict of interest. Did you know that vets get as much training in school, and sometimes more, feeding and doctoring livestock than they do dogs and cats? Hey, pigs and cattle and horses and sheep are big business. By the way, did you know that dead, dying, diseased, and disabled animals end up in pet food factories called 4D meat? These animals are fed to dogs and cats every day. Really, we'll discuss that in another video. Regarding dental expertise, one renowned veterinary dentist told me he finds dental training so bad in most practices that he teaches basic techniques to vets and techs for free. You did know, didn't you, that expensive teeth cleaning is mostly performed by a vet tech, not a vet. The vet may just step in for extractions, but oops, I digress again. Okay, you have everything in perspective now. Before visiting your vet, it's time to get the facts straight and put them down on paper. Rehearse. Don't just saunter into your vet's office and say, I've heard dogs are getting too many shots, so what do you think about not vaccinating this year? Your vet will surely scare you with horror stories and you'll cave in. Come on, you know you will. Instead, do your homework. Read. My book is a great place to start, she said modestly, because it's packed with information but actually fun to read. Web surf too, but just be careful that the site owner doesn't sell vaccines or pet food, and that they actually have some expertise or experience. So many of them don't. Okay. Once you know exactly what you think is best for your pet, say something to your vet like, let's give Fluffy a titer test this year for parvovirus in December to see if he really needs vaccinating. No reasonable vet can fault you for that. If your vet does, I say run, do not walk out of that vet's office. I'll be doing a video on this soon, so you might want to subscribe to my blog. Okay, back to your vet. Let's say your vet wants to give your dog a shot he calls DHL-PPC. Sounds scary and mysterious, doesn't it? So what do all those letters stand for? Ask. The L, by the way, is leptospirosis. Then ask to see written proof in your area that dogs of your dog's age and lifestyle need this shot. What are the adverse reactions? Isn't it especially dangerous for small dogs? How many cases of lepto have you treated this year? And does the shot protect against the particular strains in our area? They may not. There may not even be lepto in your area. Get the idea? Knowledge is power. Okay, one last power equalizer, if you're an adult, is calling your vet by his or her first name. It's easier to express yourself to George than it is to Dr. Terminator. The harder it is for you to do this, the more you need to do it. When I've decided to work with someone long term, I say politely, "We'll be working together a lot. Mind if I call you George? You can call me Jan." If George prefers to stick with his title, I may not stick with George. He clearly prefers hierarchy to collaboration. In the days of yesteryear, when we pretended our doctors were perfect, having an authority figure was fine. These days we want partners. By the way, doctor is Latin for teacher, not God. Until the next time, this is Jan Rasmussen. Be strong and advocate for your dog. You are your dog's voice.